his master's in business administration. He is one amongst the leading and a very, very accomplished digital marketing specialist. When it comes to marketing, digital-based campaigns, technologies, when it is related to reaching out to a mass audience, but still putting in that element of insight and technology, I don't think there is anyone better in at least this given room who's done that consistently for more than a decade and a half. And why am I stopping this person from talking to you? So ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Harsh Azhar.
Thanks a lot, Sanjeev, for the lovely words. I seriously didn't think that was me. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Like Sanjeev said, old age investing versus new age investing. It's not probably the topic I'm talking about today. It's the stark difference that I want to highlight today. It's what I can learn from what probably my parents did, how they invested. It's probably I'm going to talk about what new age investing tools are going to be, what new age tools are available to us, how technology is enabling us to do a lot of things in a much better way, in a much faster way. How we have a lot of information available to us. Are we making good use of it? Are we making good use of all the new technology that is available to us? Or are we misusing it? So to start with, let me first talk about a little small story, very extremely close to my heart. This is a story of two friends, Sujoy and Dhananjoy. No particular reason I'm taking Bengali names. I heard someone's come from Calcutta. It's just that I love Bengali sweets, and Manish said no rasgulla for lunch today. So this is two friends that graduated from SP Jain in 2003, 2004. High-paying jobs. Sujoy was the spender. He loved spending. He loved going to pubs. He loved going to discotheques, buying those latest Nokias, then Blackberries, then iPhones. Dhananjoy was the sober person. He was someone who would, even in his college days, prefer saving than spending. Dhananjoy was someone who would prefer to eat at home and go to a restaurant. But, okay, if you are thinking the story is going to the same way, where Sujoy ended up being poorer, Dhananjoy ended up being richer, no, that's not the case. Give me 2 minutes for it. So the two friends who were very close to each other, as soon as they got into work life, got busy, got away from each other, and bumped into each other probably after 13, 14 years. They spoke a lot. They spoke a lot. They were together for almost 2-3 hours, discussed the kind of mischief that they did in college, the kind of pranks that they did in college, and lots more. And then it came down to a sensitive topic that was investments. And Dhananjoy proudly said, you know what? I've never withdrawn any investment that I did. I've been investing for 13, 14 years now. I've never, ever withdrawn my money. Sujoy was sad. He knew what was coming his way. This guy would have a house, he has a car, he has blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure he's going to tell me what I've missed in life. That was not the case, though. Sujoy had bought his own house, not his parental house. He had bought his own house with his own money in some affluent suburbs of Western Mumbai. And Dhananjoy was still thinking of buying his first house in the outskirts of Bombay. Surprising. What went right for Sujoy? What went wrong for Dhananjoy? Sujoy was investing Probably the day he got his salary, his dad told him, the same day or the very next day, invest at least 30, 35, 40% of it and spread it out across different asset classes. He invested around 35% in large cap mutual funds, some money, 20, 25% in large cap stocks, some money in health insurance, life insurance. He wanted to keep himself insured. He invested in gold ETFs instead of physical gold. And there was some amount of money that he invested in mid-cap and small-cap companies. Maybe that was a good way to invest. What did Dhananjay do that he went so wrong? He invested in gold, physical gold. He invested in FDs. He invested in PPFs. He invested in Vikas Patras. And he invested 5% in the super ultra risky large cap mutual funds that they have. He did an SIP of 5%. Doesn't this story sound like what was happening? The Dhananjay part is probably what was happening 15, 20, 30 years back. The Sujoy part is something that we strive to reach for right now. How many of you feel that's the story? How many of you feel that this story is right when we talk about old age investments and like Sanjeev said, we talk about FD Karale, we talk about PPF में पैसा safe रहेगा, tax saving भी होगी. We talk about those Indira Vikas Patras, Kisan Vikas Patras, again for tax saving purposes. But what kind of returns do you expect from them? An 8%, 10%, 12%? Coming to modern times, our lives have changed. The way our parents lived, the way my parents lived, is probably something I can't even aim to reach there. The discipline that they had in life is something I cannot even imagine to have. Let me take you through this presentation again. What was old age investing all about? Systematic savings. This is something my dad told me. The day you get your salary, invest a particular amount and decide it well in advance that you will invest 30, 35, 40% on day 0 or day 1. That is what he did all his life. They had tough times, they still invested. They had good times, they still invested and probably invested a little more. And exactly what Dhananjay did, never withdrew their investments. They always kept it for life goals, which is me and my sister's education. They always kept it for our marriages. They always kept it for their retirement. And they have, my mom and dad, they have a wonderful retirement now. Is coming to the next thing, planned and even better executed lifestyles. When I say planned and even better executed lifestyles, they planned their expenses. They did not want to go overboard with the amount that they would spend. They would not go overboard for anything that even me and my sister would crib for. They had a certain expense in mind that would run the entire month. And last but not the least, and I'll come to it, why I'm saying not the least is avoid debt. I'll come a little later in my presentation. They completely tried to avoid debt. Obviously, in bad times, debt was needed. But apart from that, loans were a complete no-no. Where did they invest? Like the Dhananjay part of the story. Gold, corporate FDs, bonds, PPS, postal saving schemes, NPS, insurance, RBI bonds, blah, blah. And if ever they saved enough money, luckily they did, they bought a house. I wouldn't say luckily, obviously they worked hard to it. They bought a house. What was the kind of returns that you would expect from these? 8, 10, 12%, corporate FDs maybe 14%? Is that something that we can strive for in today's day and age? Probably not. Definitely not. With the kind of lifestyle that we want, with the kind of life that we want to lead, with the kind of retirement plans that we have for ourselves, these tools may not help us. What are the advantages that are available in New Age? Ease of travel. Sanjeev was saying someone has come from Calcutta, someone's come from Delhi, someone's come from Bangalore, someone's come from Hyderabad. Ease of travel is a big thing today. 25 years back, if my dad had to plan for travel, he'd have to plan probably for a week before he actually went for it. He had probably a month before he actually traveled for it. Today, click of a button, you get an airline ticket, and you can fly. Flying wasn't that cheap in that age. Next is technology. Technology has made our lives so much easier. You're sitting at home, click of a button, you've bought some shares. You've started a new SIP, you've increased your investments in a particular mutual fund, you've sold off some shares, you've blah, blah, blah. Technology has eased investing in a significant way. There's a lot of investor education available now. In olden times, probably not. In today's times, there are tons of websites, tons of documents available, white papers available, lot of information available. A well-aware investor. A part of this is something, an initiative taken by SEBI to secure investor rights, to secure the retail investor. We've heard about all those investor scams in the past. I won't want to name any, but we've heard about so many investor scams in the past. SEBI is there, right there now. It wants to avoid all of it. So we are a secured, well-aware and a well-secure investor now. Talk about investment vehicles. In my previous slide of gold and FDs and blah, blah, did they have so many options available like we have in today's times? The mutual funds, equity funds, debt funds, SIPs, funds of funds, we name it, and there are tons and tons of investment vehicles that are available. Tons and tons of new age investment tools that are available for an investor to choose which one is the right one for him. The last, but not the least, obviously, availability of research. Like research and ranking, there are many other players which are catering to this segment. Well-researched opinions are available now. You want researched mutual fund advice, it's available. Research stock advice, it's available. That's the part that creates lots and lots of wealth creation opportunities. But we have a lot of modern lifestyle problems. Let me start with this, which is inadequate savings. Like what my parents did, are we saving enough today? Are we actually saving enough today? They actually had a planned life. They actually had a planned approach towards saving, and hence they saved a lot. They actually wanted to save for their retirement, save for their life goals, and they planned it accordingly. They planned their expenses accordingly. But are we doing that? We live our life in the modern world to spend. We live our life in the modern world to spend. We want the latest iPhone XS Max that has come in. Obviously, there are lots of jokes roaming around that you'd probably have to sell a kidney to buy that top-end phone. But imagine how many people would have broken their investments to buy that phone. That's the modern lifestyle problem. I'll go to the next point, which is ignore inflation. Is it just the inflation that is hampering us today? It's down to, I think, 6.5%. But is it just the inflation that is hampering us today? The way standard of living, cost of living has been increasing. Earlier, we used to go to Getty Galaxy and probably come back home after watching a movie in 100 and 150 bucks. Today, you go to an Inox Atria, the minimum cost of a ticket there is around 1,000, 1,200 bucks. Imagine if you are a family of 4. You go there, come back, you order some food, you've probably gone with 10,000 bucks. That's the kind of inflation and modern lifestyle problems that we are facing. Next, we think speculation means investing. That's the worst of the lot. आज यहाँ पे पैसा डालो, परसों निकाल लिया, that's investing. Wow. आज इसमें डालो, मैं लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए सोच रहा हूं, मैंने 3 हफ्ते तक उसको पकड़ के रखा था. Okay? Isn't that gambling? That is. Last, on the left side, is don't understand the power of compounding. People have forgotten what compounding is. They don't understand what compounding means. Leave the power of compounding. If you save money, keep it for long term. Leave it aside in the stock markets or otherwise. Just save money and keep it for long term, even in the old age tools of investing. The money grows. They've forgotten all of it. Stop SIPs, skip insurance premiums. Like I said in the inadequate saving part, you want to buy that latest phone, the latest car, break your investments, stop your investments. That's the way to go ahead. You have to live that lifestyle. Fair enough, you have to live it today, but what will happen tomorrow, God knows. Inadequate life and health insurance. You haven't planned, people today, the kids today are not planning the right way. Life insurance, yeah, बहुत साल बाकी है. Obviously, they don't believe it, but that one line said by the astrologer which says, "तू 80 साल जीने वाला है, तो मैं 20 साल की उम्र से इंश्योरेंस क्यों लूँ? मैं हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस क्यों लूँ?" Wow. Mounting debt. Oops, sorry. Mounting debt. In old age, you saved and then bought something. You saved for something and then bought it. Today we buy it and then think how we are going to repay it. Our money is entirely consumed by paying off EMIs. Our salaries, our earnings are entirely used for paying out EMIs. We don't have anything left for saving, for investing. And withdrawing EPFs, this is something which is really funny to me. Just because you change a job does not mean you need a foreign vacation in between. Just because you've changed a job does not mean that your new job has a prerequisite requirement that you have to come every day in a new car. That's not done. I don't know what that means. And I see almost everyone do it these days. I will withdraw EPFs, I will kill my mutual funds, I will take loan against my investments. That's how I live. Not sure what happens over there. The next slide. That's again a problem in modern life. Over-analysis paralysis. Information overload. Wow. 20 years back, when we were kids, at least I was, my dad wanted to watch that 1 hour of business news every day. How many of people allowed our dad to watch that? How many of us actually allowed him to watch that? We would never ever allow him. Why should we allow him? That's family time. Why should we allow him? And today, There are those 30, 40, 50, God knows how many news channels, business news channels, which keep popping up information, plang, 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 plang. God knows what they are doing. God knows what they are analyzing, what they are saying. They say one stock has gone down 0.2%, I think the economy is in danger. What's the relation? God knows. There's so much to read, there's so much to listen, there's so much to see. I don't know how many people can digest that information and make sense of it. Next is speculative information. In 2010, 2011, on Google, the double dip crisis was searched for 10.8 million times. Isn't that a large number? That's a huge number. In 2007, no one searched for financial crisis. Not even 100,000 searches for it. Was there a double dip recession? No. Was there a financial crash in 2008? Yes. Speculation. We want to live in fear. We want to live in that zone where we are just always thinking, yaar, paisa डूब गया तो. Next is biased news manipulation. There's just so much amount of biased information going around. Again, biased could be in two ways. People want you to trade. आज ये खरीद लेना ऊपर जाएगा. Why? I'm making money because if you trade. यार ये बेच देना market टूटने वाला है. You sell it off. I don't know whether you make profits or not, but at least I get the trading income. That's speculation, that's manipulation of information. And last but not the least is rumors. That's the thing that's happening today. That's the thing that often causes stock markets to fall, often causes all of us to sell our investments, almost arm twists us to sell our investments. We heard in the last few days what's happened. Some social media messages causing a stock to crash by 70% in a day. Isn't that funny? How do we get out of this? We have to kill these. We have to kill our modern lifestyle problems. How do we kill our modern lifestyle problems? Very simple. Easier said than done though. We need adequate savings. We have to plan. This is something that we have to take from our parents, our elders. We need to plan how much we need to spend, how much we need to save. We need to foresee what financial necessities are going to come in the future. EMIs, debts is never, never, never going to be an option. Next is invest to beat inflation. If in today's time I keep my money in the bank, or I invest in 8% or 12% or 10%, where is that going to take me? It's neither going to support my lifestyle, it's neither going to support inflation. We have to understand speculation does not mean investing. There's a stark difference between them. Speculation is speculation, it means gambling, and you can never make money through it. Trust me, there's no gambler who's ever made money. Same way, a trader, I had heard this line some time back, find me a trader at the end of the year who's been positive. Probably no one. Understand the power of compounding. They say stock markets have given a return of 20% over the last 20 years, 20% CAGR. Even if I take 20-25% CAGR, which means my money goes up 3 times every 5 years. 3.05 times to be exact if I take it at 25%. Which means if I invest 1 lakh today, it will be about 9 lakhs at the end of 10 years. But if I'm scared to invest that 1 lakh, nothing happens. Systematic approach to investing. Remember the Sujoy part of the story? He spread off his money. A good amount of money was in safe investments. Obviously, safe does not mean government bonds. Safe is in safe stocks, safe mutual funds. There was a good amount of money in the middle range, good amount of money in insurance, and some amount of money in the small cap and mid cap stocks. Coming to insurance, medical bills are rising by the day. A cataract operation 10 years, 15 years back would have cost us probably 2,000, 3,000 rupees. How much does it cost us today? 35, 40, 50,000 rupees. And if you go to a good reputed doctor, I've even heard they charge around 3 to 5 lakh rupees for a simple cataract operation. Are we saving, or do we have that in mind when we invest? Or are we just completely ignoring by saying, यार कुछ नहीं होने वाला है मुझे. भाई एक बार कुछ हो गया सब खत्म हो जाता है. And how many times have we seen that? The next is minimize debt. We have to stop living on EMIs. Living on EMIs, living on loans, earn all your money and give it back to the bank so that you can repay your loans. That's not the way you work. Is your latest phone, latest car, latest blah blah, or having food at the best of the restaurants in Bombay, is it that worth? What's wrong with controlling yourself? You have to minimize your debt, otherwise you'll never be able to invest. And last is, I'm saying avoid breaking in investments, but I should say never break your investments unless there's an emergency. Obviously, there's an emergency, you have to. But if there's no emergency, for impulsive shopping, breaking your investment, breaking your EPFs, breaking your mutual funds does not seem a sensible thing to do. And how do we overcome this problem? This is something that we need to do as R&R and investors. We need to do together. We will rely only on well-researched investment advice. All the nonsense that is going around on the TV, probably 7 places that they flash this share price, that share price, this oil price, that, this, blah, 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 blah. We need to stop observing that. If today I'm a marketer, let me be a marketer. Let my financial advisor, luckily my dad's a CA, I give my money to him, he invests. Why should I do that non-stop watching of TV, non-stop watching of those share prices every single minute? Every 15 minutes, just click an F5 and I check the price again. Does that mean I'm going to end up richer? No. Let me rely on well-researched investment advice. Next is technological edge. Technology is a double-edged sword. Just because you have your smartphone in your hand does not mean you need to check the Dow Jones price at 9:30 at night before you sleep. It does not mean that first thing you wake up in the morning you check, यार US में आज गिरा है, मेरे को 9 बजे आज लैपटॉप लेके बैठना ही पड़ेगा बेचने के लिए. अगर 9 का 9:30 हो गया ना तो मर जाऊंगा मैं. Is that a life that you want to live? Just because technology is giving you that advantage, just because technology has made things easier for you, don't misuse it. Use technology to make life simpler for you, not complicate life for you. Unbiased information. Like Sanjeev said, you go to a broker and say, buy TCS for me. He would say TCS ne yaar ye kharid lo. And if some of you who had attended the first Elite Club event, Manish had said that one line, Manish ji kharid lo, pakka upar jayega. Manish, I hope that was the line you said. What does it mean by pakka upar jayega? On what basis are you saying it? What research have you done on that stock that you are saying pakka upar jayega? Doesn't work that way. Please avoid yourself from unbiased information. Last but not the least, in good and bad times, hand-holding is needed. In good and bad times, hand-holding is needed. What does that mean? Obviously, bad times, someone may say, like today, yes, these may be bad times. I don't think it is, but let's assume these are bad times. Stock markets are correcting every day. Stock markets, the share prices are falling every day. You need someone to handhold you, guide you, and say, okay, do not panic in this time. And good times, this is even more crucial. Just because stock markets are touching a high, just because stock markets, I think Sensex was at 37,000 or something, 45 to pakka hai. You don't need your advisors to tell that. You don't need advisors to misguide you. This is something that we need to eliminate between us. We need to stop falling prey to all those rumors, all that mischief that is happening out there. So just before I end, I would request you all to take these 2 oaths. That 1, I will save and invest systematically using the new age investing tools. We all need to do that, not for just creating wealth. Our family needs it. 10 years, 12 years later, when our children need money, what will we give them? We can't just, I'm sure we will not be able to tell them, sorry, son, I don't have money. And second, I will not fall prey to rumors, nor will I ever fuel them. Like I gave you an example of that stock which fell 70%, there's no point circulating such rumors. Call up your financial advisor and ask him, can this be true? If he does not have an answer, ignore it. Don't be a part of this rumor spreading. And last, but definitely not the least, I'm a modern day empowered investor. I am not a gambler. That's one thing we all need to tell ourselves. Even with that 1%, 2%, 5% of our investments, we will not fall into the gambling trap. Even if that 1% becomes 2%, it's not going to matter. It probably never will, but why are we doing it? Why live on speculative trading? Let's just be systematic long-term investors. How many of us can, or how many of us in this room can put our hands up and say, yes, we take this oath? Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot.